Os mina genki desu. Welcome back to our show. I am sure you remember our little squishies that I made a while ago, Cappy and Esmeralda. Well, they have more siblings. They have about 5 or 6 more, and I decided that today we are going to bring them back into the family. Here they are. But these are not their siblings. Today we're going to be fixing them up, actually. You might have noticed that they don't really follow the aesthetic to our other little guys. So we have our little content guy, our little derpy guy who's got kind of a coochie Kofi look. I, for real, kind of like it. And then this little bashful dude. We're gonna make them match their siblings properly. So starting off with our content kitty, I went ahead and just colored them, or painted, or whited them out off screen. You could see a little bit through the white here. I didn't use too many layers because I just needed enough that I could pencil in the lines and what I wanted to do with the cats here. This one is supposed to be the, I guess, well, they're all like quadruplets, I guess, because they were all born at the same time. But this one is specifically supposed to be like the twin to Esmeralda, where Esmeralda has one large green eye. This one is going to have 3 eyes, which you probably noticed in the penciling earlier. When it came to mixing the colors, I honestly didn't remember what colors I used to make Esmeralda, and I know I probably could have just gone back to the other videos and watched it, but I'm not that smart, so I didn't think of doing that. I just knew that I used purple and pink, so I mixed up a light purple to be the base, and I thought that that would be more than good enough to start off with. Once I got the base purple all set and touched up, I then mixed some white with the pink in order to make a very pretty pastel color for our little guy here. I'm the type of person who believes that colors do not have a gender. They're colors. Why is it like they can't breed? Why would they need to have one? So I have no issues saying, hey, this cat is a male and he is pastel, pink, and purple. Get the fuck over it. So anybody who might come at me saying like, oh, this is a girl cat. No, the one with 3 eyes is a boy cat. He is the boy sibling to Esmeralda. So don't come after me at that, okay? Please, thank you. So Esmeralda is the tabby cat, and this one, I'm not really sure what he would be called. He doesn't have the stripes. He's got like the husky kind of face where one color goes over his nose and then the other color, it goes like the bottom half of his face and then down to his chest. If anybody knows what type of cats those are called, let me know. I'm not sure if those are considered tuxedo cats. I think they are, but I'm gonna need somebody to confirm. So anyway, this one is a pink and purple, I guess, tuxedo mask cat. That's what I'm gonna call him from now on, because it looks like they have like the half mask on top. But anyway, I've been thinking about a name for this guy, and I think Jasper, or I don't know, somewhere along those lines would be a good idea for this little guy. So I know that even though all these cats kind of have like this guro kawaii bit of aesthetic, they all look a little bit different. So I wanted to kind of connect them using patterns, but especially eye color. So this one, Jasper here, has the same coating as Esmeralda, but the same eye color as Cappy, our little mushroom cat. And I thought that was good enough to kind of show that there was some type of relation here. And then here I'm just using a brown to align the eyes here. I don't like using black, especially on pastel colors, because I feel like it's too harsh. Just like having like just like these light colors and all of a sudden black. I feel like it kind of takes it out, and the brown is just slightly softer, and I feel like it mixes in a little bit better. And then we get a little bit of detail on the eyes. We finished up the nose. The nose is the exact same as Esmeralda's, where it's the little heart, except instead of having a sweet little smile, he's got a kind of serious frown going. He gives off kind of Dragon Ball vibes, I feel like, and I'm wondering if it's because of the way I did like the triangle eye style. Maybe. What do you guys think? Did I lean too far into the Akira Toriyama style or not? Does he look okay? And well, here he is going for, I think Jasper is his name. And there he is with his sister Esmeralda. It looks like the pinks pretty much matched, but screwed up the purples. It's fine. It's all good. Alright, so this scene is a couple of days later. Sorry if the light is a bit different. I picked up, I believe this is the Derpy cat, and started immediately with a little star on his head. This kitty, I wanted to do a galaxy thing. I've always wanted to have like a galaxy themed cat, and this was the perfect opportunity to bring her in. I have a little star on her head, and her eyes are just huge. Like I wanted a kind of alien aesthetic as well, like someone who just like sees so far out into space. I put together, I thought of like, what are some like galaxy like colors, and of course I thought, well, there's you put black, and then usually it's like a pink, a blue, or a purple, and I decided that instead of black I would just try to darken the purple here, but it kind of it dulled it out a little bit too much, so I end up changing that a little bit later. I add way more purple. I thought I was just using a dab of black. Nope, I think I used way too much. And then this blue I thought was deep enough that I didn't really have to mix anything. I thought this blue was perfect for what I was going for. And then here I am mixing the purple into a much nicer color. It's still not exactly perfect, but I never took color theory, okay? I don't know how to mix colors. And now we're getting started. I tried to go for a bit of a stipple effect. The problem is the brush I'm using is very old. I really should get rid of it. What I should have done is, because I've done galaxy paintings before, but what you would usually do is you would use a sponge for the stippling. I didn't have any sponges, or I didn't feel like going to the kitchen and cutting any up. So the brush I used is fine. It's hard to see, but there were a lot of like little hairs, little bristles that were left, so that was annoying to clean up. I had to like get tweezers to pull them out. But all in all, I think the color, the galaxy, all came out pretty good. It really was just like stippling between colors back and forth and back and forth until I got what I wanted for our little creature here. I mentioned before how I wanted to kind of connect the siblings by not just by being weird, creepy cats, but also by like eye color. So this kitty has the same eye color as Esmeralda. I just went with the straight green out of the bottle, which I believe is also what I did for Esmeralda, and it's a really pretty color. I like this green a lot. I feel like I need to find another set of these before they don't exist anymore. And then this is, again, because I'm using such an old brush, I tried using the effect where you like run your thumb against the bristles and you can make little stars. But for some reason, with that particular brush, it didn't want to work. So I had to switch brushes a little bit, and that helps. So now I have the actual star and galaxy effect on my precious little kitty. A little later, once the system dries up a bit here, I'm fixing up a tail and I am redoing the star on her head. It got kind of covered up in the stippling, and I'm the type of person where I kind of need to see where I'm going, so I ended up just kind of covering the whole thing and deciding, you know what, I'll just paint over it later. I was a little worried that the white might be a little too opaque. Like I would need too many layers in order to get the star and the tail to show up, but it came out fine. No problem. There's not much to say. I mean, I drew a star on her head and then I painted a tail on her butt. That's what I did. So I didn't finish. Well, I did finish, but after looking at her, I thought that there wasn't really enough color. So I found the little capsule that I kept Jasper's pink in, and luckily it didn't dry out too much. It's definitely very, very sticky, but I was able to use it to kind of accent the galaxy a little bit more, just to add, I don't know, a little something. And I think it was a good call, because just the purple and blue, just they weren't quite enough for me, but this was it. And then now we just put in the details. I added a little bit of sparklies to her body to kind of bring a little more of the galaxy aesthetic in. I'm doing touch-ups on her tail and head and adding in the details for her eyes. I wanted them big and sparkly, and I think it came out pretty great. And here she is, my little galaxy baby. I love her giant eyeballs. I wanted her tail to be a little more moon-like, and I kind of dropped the ball on that one, but I think that's okay. I was thinking of a name like Andromeda, but maybe that's a little too much. If you guys can think of any good names for this cat, do me a favor and just leave them in the comments. Appreciate it. Now, before we can get to work on the next cat, I needed to pull this squishy out. This is my squishy. She is soft. She is like a little marshmallow. I love squeezing her, and I love the way she smells. Unfortunately, because I squeeze her so much, she has a bit of a horn problem, and I think it is about time that we kind of just Alright, that wasn't so bad, was it? Sorry, you now have a gaping wound on your head, but that doesn't mean that I've stopped loving you. You're still soft and squishy, and you still smell good. Thank you for your service. Farewell! And now, my friends, we can begin. So what I wanted to do with this single horn was turn it into two horns. And this is very thick, and I thought it would be enough for me to cut them in half and then kind of fold them in on each other to make the horns that I needed. Looks pretty good in concept, but spoiler alert, it doesn't come out as well as I had initially hoped. Using my fabric hot glue gun here, I'm just hot gluing them together. They came out decently enough. I just had to trim them down, place them on, and luckily fabric glue it adheres very, very quickly, so I don't have to wait very long before they are set. Now, when it comes to caulking these things, I know that the most common way to do it is to use puff paint. I am not a fan of puff paint, and I didn't want to buy like a $3 thing at Michael's, so instead I just went to the Dollar Tree and spent $1.25 on this little guy instead. So I don't know if that's going to mean that the project will be less satisfying, but I don't really care. I'm not buying a big thing of puff paint. I've had a history with them. I don't want to get into it. Okay, so now that everything is more or less set and perfect, I decided to go with a complete red for this little kitten. Until I found out that this red actually was not what I wanted. It was a little too bright for what I was going for. So I decided that after doing a full first coat, I would stipple in this black color to kind of make it look, I guess, fiery or burnt, or I don't know how to describe it. Because I also didn't want just like a full black. I felt like that would be not necessarily cheating, but I think it would be less fun. So instead, I covered the red and used it as a base point, and the black stippling over would be like, I guess, a cover color. I don't know what this technique would be called. If anybody who is an art or painting expert would know, please tell me. I did a lot of stippling this episode, and I think it looks pretty cool. Satan Galaxy. And once that was finished, I grabbed the red and my detailing brush to kind of touch up on the horns a bit. Like I mentioned, they're still squishy. It's just that the fabric glue that I bought, I guess it was a little too much on the cheap side, because where the seam is, it's just a little bit hard. Not as bad as it would have been if I just used regular glue, but you can definitely tell that it's not very soft there. And now we are drawing in the pentagram. What some of you may not know is that a pentagram is actually, an inverted pentagram, where the star is upside down, is actually a symbol of protection. It was adopted into a lot of Satanist cultures, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not about to get into specifics of religion on this channel. That is up to you to educate yourself. But this is definitely a hell kitten. And what I'm using now to make the eyes as round as I can is actually a cable holder that I put under my table, but my cat ripped it off, so I just used it for the eyes here. And I didn't want to put any detail. I kind of wanted this cat to be a little bit on the derpy side, to be honest, of just like glowing white eyes. I was going back and forth on whether I should have them white or yellow, and I just thought there's something kind of more cute and more I guess a little off-putting with just plain white. I also didn't want to outline them in any way. I wanted a bit of a glowing effect, which is why I kind of made that blur around the edges. Here we are detailing the pentagram so that it comes out a little bit brighter. It was a little bit dark on the kitty's fur, but that's all good. This one also does not have a name. I can't really think of one for some reason, so if you guys can, write it in the comments. Let me know. And here they all are. Let me know which one is your favorite in the comments below. This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Remember, you are loved, you are appreciated, and I am so happy that you're here on this earth painting new kitties with me. So until next time, my dudes, matanyang!